Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with JuniorHockey.io, the Victorious Hockey Company, the absolutely stellar junior hockey discussion group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever you are this morning. Hope that you are enjoying really the second Monday of 2025. Today's topic, if you read the article last night or early this morning, pay to play player retention. Don't say that too fast. What is this all about? What am I talking about? Considering the move from the Canadian Hockey League that is allowing probably 300 players or more a year to drop into the NCAA Division I system, our entire system of junior hockey on the continent is about to get a major change. The change is what roles each league or each level of play have on college hockey. So we know that for the most part, before USHL was and BCHL were the primary routes to NCAA Division I. Now we can kind of feel like the USHL is probably still going to get a lot of Division I opportunities. Same with the BCHL, but they're also going to get quite a bit NCAA Division III opportunities, and maybe even some of those kids going far down as ACHA D1. And that's okay. Some kids pick schools based on what they offer. Maybe it's a better academic program. Maybe they were offered a better financial package. For whatever reason, they choose to go to that school. Understandable. Today's topic goes into how pay-to-play operators can keep players to come back for a second year or sometimes even a third year. Now, if you're on the ladder of development, going back for a second or third year is probably counterproductive to being on the ladder itself. But let's talk about that second year. Why would a player make a lateral movement from, say, the NA3HL to the USPHL Premier or the EHL? There's a lot of reasons, and we'll go down some of those today. Developmental experience. What is the team doing to enhance each individual player's developmental experience? A lot of times this comes down to more than just practice. You have to do more than practice to maintain these players. What are you doing off the ice? Is there any time for a player to work on his individual skill set? Are you doing film work? Are you doing opposition film work? Do players have the resources to scout the opposing team individually? And that's really what is all part of that developmental process. Kids need the tools to excel and to climb the ladder of development. They don't want to be at that level. They want to get out of that level. You guys have to give them every opportunity to do so. For clubs that have multiple teams at different levels within their club, say you have a USPHL Elite, a Premier, and an NCDC team. If you don't allow those Premier players to slide up and get on the ice with the NCDC team, you are retarding development. If you don't allow elite players to slide up and get time with the Premier team, you are retarding development. Don't do that. So don't be the reason why a player shies away from a club that has teams at multiple levels of play. Be a club that attracts players to those levels of play. Next, exposure. Exposure is more than throwing the player's name up on a webpage. Exposure is real stats that are taken care of that players don't have to go over. I'm getting kind of tired of looking at a goalie stats and know they're completely false. Kid's got a 692, and you wonder why. How the hell is that? Last year he was 935. How was he a 692? And you go back over the game sheet and you see that for many of the games, the exact same number of goals are the same as number of shots. He's not showing any saves at all because the team didn't bother to get an accurate shot count or go back and audit the game to a point to give the kid an accurate shot count. Coaches, that should matter to you. You shouldn't let a goalie get hit like that because it's an absolute slap in the face when the stats in the game don't match the stats on the paper. You got to do a better job. For skaters, the same thing applies. I'm really getting tired of having to audit games and see where Johnny made an assist on a play but doesn't get the assist because you gave it to somebody that's on the bench. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Coaches often change stats after the game. No, it was this guy and that guy and this guy, not that guy. Baloney. Don't change stats to help your favorite players. That's called lying. That's calling being dishonest. Over-deliver on your end of the exposure deal. Next, hockey experience. What does that mean? How's the culture in the room? How is the culture on the bus? How does the coach communicate with the players? What is the overall hockey experience like? Is it fun? Is it enjoyable? If it's something that's a chore and not enjoyable, there's no way that kid's coming back to you next year. He's going to go somewhere else where he might actually appreciate the experience. Coaches that scream and yell and cuss all the time are generally not a place that's pleasant. Kids don't want to go back there for a second year. And this is a big one. I have a lot of 2006 candidates playing or players playing in the pay-to-play leagues. I know coaches want to win, but if it looks like you're not going to make the playoffs, I know it's January, but you're 15 games under 500 or 10 games under 500. You're probably better off playing some younger kids, especially younger players that you might want to bring back next year. But you sit those kids in the bench for those 19 and 20 bombs. That's not going to work out for you. Those kids don't want to come back and play for you next year because you didn't give them a chance this year. This half of the season, play those 2006s and 07s that you promised playing time to when you got them to sign the contract in the first place. Again, why do players leave? Read all the things we just said. Read today's article. Hope that you enjoy it. If you're a coach that does things the wrong way, you're probably not going to enjoy it. Sorry about that. Until tomorrow, we hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day at hockey.